Yeah.
Hmm? How's that? Good?
Very good. Well, and of course, your family reunion jersey.
Yes, but there, girl.
Eh,
I was
eh.
looking for a jersey to put on and I find this. And I see looking good. So what we have here now?
That was 2014, you know, or
2014?
2017. Family reunion.
2017?
Yeah.
The boy still in the family?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You only wear to the union and you never wear it again.
I never was after this. So what we have here, Louis?
Dal and rice and curry chicken and some cucumber salad with tomatoes. Using lime and garlic and salt.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. We say
So
grace then.
it's great to be outward in the back porch, enjoying
Well, you're playing with this thing, darling.
enjoying a nice fresh breeze. So unlike yesterday, there was so much rain.
Yeah. Lots of
Yeah,
rain.
but it's lovely. We hadn't been outside for about 2 or 3 days based on the rain.
Yeah. But inside was just as nice, huh?
It was cozy inside.
Mm-hmm.
Relaxing days. But it's good to be outside. You did some good work in the yard out there. Yeah.
Okay, good. Very good. You know, this one thing about cell phone,
Yes,
is the worst time to have it on when you're going to have lunch.
yes,
But
of
we have
course.
abided it because that seems to be the norm now.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Okay, Louise, you say your grace, I say my grace. All right? I shake my head this one, I remember Santa boy. Now, Santa's a little fella, every time he say grace, he tip his head at the end, you know.
I do that too, you know.
Yeah, it's catching on. Let's see now.
A long time I didn't cook some dal and rice and curry, man.
I tell you. I can't see you getting better every day because you're always very good. But you're really smart.
Smart.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of word is that to say?
describe food?
To describe food. Smart. It's either delicious, yummy,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
why smart? You want to make a smart compliment? That's a smart compliment, Nancy.
Yeah, boy. Mr. Barton, I've been happy to eat this. He's a man like
He likes with his fingers.
You can handle that?
I can eat with my fingers when it's roti,
Yeah, but not now, eh?
not with rice.
Mr. Bat used to buy some kind of pork. What is it? It's a salt pork.
Corn pork.
Corn pork. Good, no? And your uncle in beach used to make corn pork? How did you make that process? What's that process?
I know that recipe.
No?
I don't know that recipe. Papa used to corn pork too. I think it's just a matter of washing it and rubbing salt on it and maybe vinegar to preserve it because no long ago we didn't have fridge and thing.
Okay.
So it's a way to preserve the pork when he killed pigs.
Hey, you know, you ever seen a pig being killed?
There's ball like 10,000, you know.
All right, you want to hear them now. What about
You ever hear a pig killed?
No.
Well, you ask that like if you heard about.
What about salt in fish?
Corn fish, yeah.
How do you
Same
do that?
process. You sort of debone the fish. The other way, you cut it and get it bone on the side. And then they run a sharp knife to make like strips. But of course it will be holding on to the skin, okay?
Yeah.
So you strips, and then you put salt all between those lines. So everything gets really salted. And then you put it out in the sun to dry.
How many days so you had to leave that? 4 hours.
Couple of days.
Really?
Yeah, so it dry and then it could last you for months.
And which fish is it better to corn?
There's the more corn salmon.
But the
A
salmon down
fleshy
here is a
fish.
different kind of salmon, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, a little while ago, you get a call from your cousin in Irene,
Yeah.
and she was saying she was glad to have been with you all when the cousins met at a recent wedding reception,
Yeah.
so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Post-wedding reception. And I feel glad about that too, to see all the cousins there. People commented that a wonderful thing when cousins get together. I remember when, you know, my cousins lived in Degomat in the Corbys. And we grew
Yeah.
up in Cora there. In Cora, it was kind of far away in those days. You didn't have much good transport. But boy, I used to look forward to these Corbys coming to Cora.
Yeah.
It was Dunstan, Selwyn, Johnny.
But they were a happy bunch, eh?
Oh,
I met
boy.
them in their later life, but they were a real happy bunch.
These cousins were really great, and they would come home. They had the guitar, the shack, the quattro, bottle and spoon, and a little grater, and they're rubbing the knife on it or whatever they do, and they're grating. And the house used
Bottle
to,
and spoon, man. Dun, 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 dun.
Kenna, the house used to come alive, you know, because these cousins came together.
Yeah.
These cousins came together. Now the Corbys had a barber shop on Duke Street and Henry Street. And Louis' mother used to take me there for a little trim, a haircut and whatnot. And it was a joy, it really was a joy to be in that barber shop. The barber shop was vibrant. We had about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, about 4 swivel chairs.
What was a big barbershop?
Yes. And old man Corby used to be the head man. But as he got older, the boys came into the game and they would trim. But I remember Gilbert telling me, he said the first time I trimmed somebody, he said I had on the running shoes, you know. Because I wasn't sure how that hair was going to come out. And you see, Carnival time, boy, like every masquerader in Port of Spain
Used to come by them.
knew that barber shop. It was lively. And when the guys came to Cora, man, and they would fet us. They would fet us, you know. I remember when every time they play a song, the backup music is to be Ajuba, 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 Ajuba. I'll tell you, man, I have not forgotten that. Sad to say,
Most of them died now.
Nearly all of them passed away. So it was a very large family with beautiful days. But you know, one of the things about parents need to really encourage their children to be friendly with other members of the family
Yeah.
whose children are also of the same age.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. My mother, this is not washing dirty linen in public, but I was a young boy going to Tranquil Primary School. And there was some kind of disturbance that I never understood as a young fellow in the family. And because of that, I never knew my first cousin too well. Now, I can't remember anything being said in the home against that particular family. But I knew somewhere along the line I was expected, you could say, to follow the trend of not knowing your cousin. Right? It wasn't enforced. It wasn't a decision that was enforced on me, but
It was a silent
it was a silent kind of
undercurrent.
undercurrent and understanding that we have nothing to do with this particular lot of people.
That is so sad, eh? And you're talking about first cousin, Lance?
Yes, and I would meet this young man, very young man, compared to me. Of course, I was much younger. But I knew he was my cousin. And I would pass him on the street, and I would just nod my head, and like he had the same kind of sentiment in his home.
Yeah, because he, being older, he could have reached out to you.
Yes, he was a working man, and I was a schoolboy.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something definitely wrong in the situation. And I would pass him and I would say, hello. No, I would nod my head. And he would just smile at me.
It was forbidden to even use a voice.
Hear this. He would just nod, smile, and walk on. You know, as the years roll by, I must credit one of my brothers, my brother Bertram. My brother Bertram was a crusader, I would say, for doing the right thing and trying to keep in touch with the family. And when my mother's sister died, and we went to that funeral, my mother had already died, and we went to that funeral, and we met some of the cousins. I was so happy to have met them. Later on, and I would say just about a year ago, I tried to get in touch with some of those relatives of the Corbys, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them have passed away, as I said. Some have gone to Canada.
Yeah.
And the one that I saw on the street, I used to see on the street, I tried to get in touch with him. But I guess it was far too late. I understand he died, yes.
Oh.
And another sister is abroad. The fact is, I'm trying to say that cousins, it's so important for parents to encourage every member of the family, children, to get to know each other.
Well, Lance, that could only happen if the brothers and sisters were close, you know. If you grew up in a house together, and when you become adults, there was not bonding between brothers and sisters, then when they get married, they move on with their new family, and they just kind of, their life is just me and my wife and my children. Because I mean, I have met, when I married you, I met a lot of your nephews and nieces and so, and they were always friendly towards me. But yet, you know, you would know there is a non-existence or contact other than being at the family home when there was a get-together. Everybody would be there at the get-together, but after that, nobody invites anybody. So when mother died and father died, then there was nobody holding the family together. So if you're not close, I would say, obviously, mother and her sister was not close. I don't know what the story is, but
I never knew it.
If they were not close, then when they got married, they went to separate ways and probably tell themselves, I done with you. So if I done with you, my children not gonna know you. I'm not gonna make no effort to bring my children to meet your children. And especially if you live far from each other. You will just know you had family in Port of Spain, and by chance when you see them, a red man to a red man, all you're looking alike, so that's my cousin. But it is very sad. And
you see, the children cannot be expected to tote grievances for the adults.
Yeah. It is unfair to the child. It is terribly unfair. I mean, this is not to take over here, but just a little throwback about my family.
Yeah, tell me
I'm not trying to big up my family, but
we're not that sensitive.
Yeah,
I am not.
Right. Now, when we grew up as children in the Caucasus, my father and his brothers came to Trinidad from St. Vincent. I don't know whether they did a geography test to see who should live furthest away from each other or what. But one was in the Caucasus. That's my father. One went to Bish. He bought an estate in Bish. And the other one was in Aruka. Far, far away from each other. But strangely, they visited one another. Ever so often, July, August holidays, Uncle Sam always brought his children down to Caucasus to spend a week vacation or 2 weeks.
And what he used to bring? He used to bring...
And when they come in, well, like he used to hire a van,
Yeah.
and it's a bag of dashing, bag of yam, hard fowl, conchs they get in the river, a bag of roast breadfruit. And he and a man, when they came, it was like Christmas.
Yeah.
And we would just have fun together. And we will go to beach, maybe without our parents. As kids growing up, we went and visit. And we had a good time. We would bathe in the little river, not clear river like Ora, you know. When you step in, there's mud all around you. But you're having a good time together. And that used to be so much fun. Right? We would go, Jennifer, Uncle Hubert, 2 older children, came down every August month for holidays.
Right.
And so that was the other set of cousins. But you know what was amazing and wonderful? We didn't only know our father's family, but we also knew our mother's family. And we would go to Irene, and the Irene family will come down, and they still do. You know? But these families, these brothers and sisters were close. And it was important that the children, by visiting, the children grew up with that bond. And but a lot of times I think too, parents, I mean, the older generation, they have issues with each other. And maybe they talk about their siblings in the presence of their children. That is a very bad thing.
Yeah.
Because if all elderly folks have a grievance with each other, 2 brothers have a grievance against each other, or a brother and a sister, that has nothing to do with children.
No.
That has nothing to do with children.
But that requires a sense of maturity.
Right?
That is, deep maturity must grow.
And you know that is scriptural. That if brothers and sisters have a problem, it should not be extended to the children. Because remember, Esau and Jacob. When Esau wanted to kill Jacob, and Jacob had to run for his life, you know, when he was going to be meeting with Esau again, he put all his children and gifts for their uncle and their cousins. If he had bad talk Esau and tell them Esau want to kill him, and tell the children have nothing to do with Esau, you think those children would have been willing to present gifts when they meet in Esau?
No, not at all. Not at all.
When Joseph went to Egypt, when they put Joseph in the pit, and he was sold, and he went to Egypt, and those brothers came after. If Joseph had told Pharaoh what his brothers did to him,
Pharaoh would have put them to death, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yes, all you have all your misunderstanding, all you have all your grievances, but the children have a right to grow up knowing your cousins,
They need to
have
be
a relationship.
unburdened by these things,
Yeah. So parents are to be blamed when children didn't get to know their cousins. It's not fair. It's not a fair thing. Because my cousins were dear to me. They still are. We probably don't do stuff as we used to when you were young, but we all know that you're welcome to see each other and visit each other, and when you see each other, you're happy to see each other, as that day in Irene, because my cousin just called and she said, you could make anybody happy, you know, girl, just to see you make me happy.
That's great, that's great. You make me happy too. You give me a good plate of food there. But tell me something, Louise. Tell me a little bit about Irene, and you have a funny story about the donkey taking you under the house or something.
When we used to go to Irene, well, Auntie Mary, they used to make garden.
Mm-hmm.
So she had these about 8 or 9 children. Mm-hmm. And the first set were girls.
Mm-hmm.
So we were all comparable ages, 1 year, 2 years difference with each other. So we would have a lot of fun going to the garden with the donkey, and I would ride the donkey. The donkey would be good, jumping over canal, drain and thing, you know what, and I ain't falling off, and good, everything good with the donkey. But from the time you reach back home, the donkey will head straight for under another house. Well, you know, in the country, no fence and things separated the house, eh? And this house on post, right? So it could be like 6 or 7 feet.
Mm-hmm. Above ground?
Yeah. Maybe 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Because a donkey is like about 5 feet.
Maybe, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And this day, well, usually when I see him going to head towards yours, I jump off.
Mm-hmm.
But this day, he moved so fast that straight under the house. And all I did was lie back.
Oh my.
Lie back.
Mm-hmm.
And the donkey and I under the house, my stomach level with the flooring.
Mm-hmm.
and all my cousins bawling, you know, how to get me over this donkey. So they had to tear off my dress and push me.
How old were you?
I was like 13, I think.
Okay.
13, 14.
Mm.
Push me off the donkey. I don't know how I didn't fall and break my back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And see me running with me, holding the back of my dress to change. And then they could laugh, you know. They're laughing at you, you know.
Yes, of course.
But
it's all fun for the cousins, eh?
Oh, yes, we had good
Who was
oldies.
Susan Miller?
Oh, gosh, Lancy, you remember that story I tell you?
Yes.
No, they had a little parlor. So if you're going in the garden to pick stuff, you're helping sell in the parlor.
Right.
So on a Saturday morning, man, parlor busy on a Saturday morning, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So these guys from Rancho Comado, which is like 2 villages before where they live,
Right.
they would ride racers, you know,
Uh-huh.
and ride all over wherever.
Mm-hmm.
So they will pass and always stop now. You know, this must see these pretty girls in the parlor.
Mm-hmm. How many girls so?
Well, it was about 3 or 4
Okay.
pretty girls, you know,
Yeah.
all pretty girls. So they would come to the parlor to buy sweet drink and rock cake.
Mm-hmm.
So this day now, I am here now, another pretty girl.
Right.
So of course now, there's one particular one, well, I can't even remember his name now. You want to know what's my name? So I tell him Susan Miller.
Susan Miller.
That time my name Louise Cozier.
Yeah, the Cozier girls.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Susan Miller, man. So anyway, next Saturday, because I had been up there for a week or 2, come back again, they stopped to buy sweet drink. We pull in sales for Auntie Mary, you know.
Uh-huh.
Come and they buy their soft drink, they chat again. My boy say, okay, Susan Miller, we'll be in touch.
Mm-hmm.
So I gone back to Carcass. 2-3 weeks past, I going to the post office. Well, I go to the post office often, but this day now,
Gakas, right?
yeah, Gaka's post office. The postmistress telling me, she asking me, she say, I have a letter here for somebody, but I don't know this person at all. Man, it's the correct address at Maki Gaka's post office. So the address is correct. So I said, what the person name? Susan Miller. I said, I my letter. See me going home, read this letter, and now I hide in this letter, you know.
What is right there?
Well, that was the end of Susan Miller. And
were you hiding from your father?
I don't know why I was hiding it, and maybe just read it and, you know, little sweet stupidness.
Oh gosh, boy.
Yeah, young people, all this stuff.
Well, anyway.
But really and truly, it is wonderful
But you had good days in beach too, isn't it?
Oh yes, we used to go to beach and go in the garden too and bathe in the rivers. I tell you, when you step in after a while, everybody in the river is muddy water you're bathing in, but you're enjoying that.
And your uncle was a beekeeper also.
Yes.
And he liked to make pancakes. I remember when we went up.
He was a good cook, you know, and his wife, Auntie Sybil Boy, she used to treat you so good.
Yeah,
Same thing with Aunt Elsie. They were all nice, and I am sure extend that to your children, man. It's important. It's important that children grow up knowing each other. I mean, our children were very close. Well, sad to say, more to the Kosia family than your family. Again, because of everybody was self-sufficient. Nobody visited much or anything. So, unfortunately, you know, it could appear as a one-sided thing, but it really was not that I kept them away from their family.
No.
It was not a deliberate thing to keep them away, but it was just that nobody was coming forth to visit and you going to visit them, you know.
I'm a little lost there. Explain that there. I kind of lost track there of what you're saying there.
I am saying that our children grew up knowing the cozier side of the family better and be friends because they are very close with my side of the family.
Right.
But unfortunately, they didn't have that bond with your nieces and nephews.
That is true, yeah.
And I'm saying it is not because I kept them away or you kept them away.
Right.
It was just that, you know, everybody was busy with their own family.
That's true.
You know?
Well, things do get in the way. You know, people get education, they move on to different things. They have jobs, they move on, they move far away from each other. But the important thing is to keep in touch. You remember when I tried to get in touch with the Corby people?
Yeah.
And we called, and an old woman who is supposed to be a Corby, she turned out not to be related, but she was so happy to talk.
Yes, of course.
An old woman, maybe she was nearly 90.
Yeah.
I had no idea, and we couldn't make a connection with my family as the Corbys, but she was very happy, you know, just to chat.
Yeah.
You see, there are people out there who want to chat, eh?
Yeah.
And this is the thing, you know, to find people out there who want to chat and who want to...
Yeah, to have a relationship. Because relationship, no man is an island, you know, and people need relationship. Yes, you need to have everybody need your space, because that's a word used a lot now among young people. You know, long ago it was not a word that you hear too much, because like it never was too much of having somebody. But young people now, they need their space, and we have to respect that. But you certainly have to make time.
Of course.
For family and friends, and you know, it is important because no man is an island.
Well, Louise, thank you very much. So, what for supper? What is for supper, bang lady?
I'm thinking of making, but then I changed my mind. I'm thinking of making coconut Not coconut bake.
Ice cream?
No. You take me off guard so much about supper that
Yeah, man always looking for food to eat.
coconut cornbread.
Coconut cornbread.
Yeah, but
That should be-
I think I'll make it on Monday instead.
That is fine, that is fine.
Yes.
Yeah, that is fine. I want to talk about Ashan Mohammed. What was the joke he gave us yesterday? He said that when you made this hina and you had no chutney, you should have found a chutney song. And what was the chutney song?
I can't remember, you know.
Kaisi Bali?
Kaise bani, tu na chatani, kaise bani. Anshan, thank you so much for being in contact with us. We really appreciate your calling us and making sure that we are fine. Every weekend you give us a call. We appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you to all our supporters who have been so very kind in their comments and encouragement, and we are glad if we are of any help to you all. We are glad to be sharing our lives with you all. Thank you so much for the support, and till we meet again.